Live right here on this Wednesday. 10 games in the association, and the premier hardwood handicappers are with you. He is Donnie RightSide. I am Ben Stevens. For the second consecutive game in Oklahoma City, it is a marquee matchup in the Western Conference. On Monday night, it was the Thunder and the Timberwolves. At the time, both entered 32-14, tied for the number one spot in the Western Conference standings. OKC was a slight home favorite, laying 2.5 points. Minnesota won outright 107-101. The Timberwolves, the best record in the Western Conference, 33-14. The Thunder now the third best record in the Western Conference, 32-15, because the defending NBA champions, the Denver Nuggets, have played one more game. They have one more win. They are 33-15. It is as close as you could get to a pick'em on the money line tonight in Oklahoma City. The Thunder a slight favorite, Donnie, minus 112. Denver minus 104. Over-under stands at 227. Listen, it's a regular season game. It's the final night of January. We got a lot of basketball to worry about before we get to the middle of April and the playoffs begin in the NBA. But if you are Oklahoma City and you are Minnesota, and these are your opportunities to make a statement in a marquee matchup, this is a prime opportunity tonight in Oklahoma City.
Yeah, this is the time here, right? Because even the last game, we were taking a look at the OKC Thunder. Can they win that game? Rest disadvantage. I'll go against them. I thought Minnesota was the right play, and it was. But you just take a look at that number here. Slight favorite here towards Oklahoma City. They're at home going against the NBA champions. This is the time that's your time to shine, to say, you know what? Even though it's a regular season game, it doesn't mean all that much for the playoffs. Not necessarily. This is one that you put into the bank on. You know what? Remember that night OKC when they were rested, got a chance to take on Denver and showed us that they were a great ball club. I look for a big night from SGA, and yes, it's really hard to take the Denver Nuggets, or bet against, I should say, and fade the Denver Nuggets in a game like this, but I do think OKC is going to be fired up and treating this almost like an NBA Finals game. I like the Thunder to take care of business at SGA, of course, getting into the 30s here, Ben.
Listen, we're looking at numbers that are basically a pick'em, so trends in these spots, not really the biggest thing. Technically, the Nuggets at this moment would be an underdog for only the sixth time in their 49 NBA games this year. They have won 2 of the previous 5 outright when booked as an underdog. Oklahoma City, one of the better cover teams as a favorite, now 20-11 against the spread, but it'd be laying a point. It's minus 112 on that money line. So next up, we go to Kevin Durant making his return inside the Barclays Center against the Brooklyn Nets. His Phoenix Suns, a 3-point road favorite, the over-under 232. Phoenix playing much better basketball, but not really covering numbers. What do you expect out of the Nets, who in their most recent game, Donnie, earlier this week on Monday night, not only did Ben Simmons nearly have a triple-double in less than 20 minutes of action, the Nets blew out the Jazz by more than 30.
Look, yeah, this is going to be one that you're going to want to say, you know what, I want to take Kevin Durant here and let's let bygones be bygones. He's going to be angry. He's going to be in his old building. He's going to want to show them. But also, Ben, I would like to be seeing a better brand of basketball out of Kevin Durant lately, because we had a game stretch where he took on Indiana and also Chicago, dropped 40 and 43 consecutively. After that, 12, 20, 15, and 20. And also, we're not talking about being like, hey, well, he's coming off the bench and we're trying to limit his minutes here. 41 minutes, 37 minutes, 39, and 37. So tonight, if there's one game for Kevin Durant to turn up, he should do that tonight. But usually, you know me, Ben, ride the hot hand. Who's the guy scoring all the points here that's going to want to continue to roll? That's not Kevin Durant at this point right now. So maybe it's a Devin Booker night. And also, you are correct. Yeah. I like the Suns. Their big three is supposed to be intact for this basketball game. They're a better overall team than the Nets, but they're on the road and technically don't cover. I'll take the Nets tonight. Give me the points. By the way, every time it seems like the Nets have a home game and they're getting points, I'm saying give me the Nets and the points in this situation. And I'm going to do that again tonight.
13, 15, and 2 against the spread are the Brooklyn Nets. Donnie still has those allegiances to Ben Simmons, whether he wants to admit it to himself or not. The Phoenix Suns' most recent game on this East Coast road trip, they've been on the road now for 4 straight games, kind of to the eastern part of the country, in Florida most recently. Devin Booker has been sensational. Their most recent game, though, for Phoenix was in South Florida on Monday against the Heat. They closed as a 2.5-point dog against the Heat team that has now lost 7 straight games. They won outright 118-105. But as a favorite, Phoenix 11-21-2 against the spread. Not great at covering numbers. Phoenix has won 8 of its last 10, but they've only covered 4 times in that span. 2 of those 4 covers as the favorite. But Devin Booker, 46 points a week ago against the Mavericks on the road. 62 on Friday night. We have seen 4 60-plus point performances in the last week, and that has been sensational. Devin Booker follows it up on Sunday in Orlando with 44 points. I would look at Phoenix in this spot, but what I think I like even more, Donnie, the Suns have gone under in 5 of their last 7 games as they have started to play better basketball. I would lean under 232 tonight. Doc Rivers' debut on the sidelines for the Milwaukee Bucks was not the greatest thing on the road in Denver just a few nights ago. Tonight, the Bucks are in Portland. Damian Lillard's return against the Trailblazers, a 10.5-point spread in favor of the Bucks. Yesterday in Portland, at Adidas headquarters, they dedicated the court to Dame. Everybody excited to see him back in the Rose City. How do you think his return looks tonight against the Blazers?
Yeah, I think he's going to get a lot of shots here up tonight, and rightfully so. The crowd's going to want to see it. They're sure they're going to cheer him. They're not going to boo him here tonight. But also, every other game, Dame, which is his name for us, didn't play very well in his last game out there, had 18 points. Before that, he had 26. I'm not looking right now at the FanDuel Sportsbook, so somebody can chime in there. His points prop is one you're going to want to look at because the narrative does fit here. Much, much more than the game we just talked about with Kevin Durant saying, hey, he's going back to Brooklyn. I mean, how much invested time was really in Brooklyn for Kevin Durant as opposed to Dame Lillard, who basically was the Portland Trailblazers for the better parts of a decade here. I do think this game is going to be high scoring. I think the Milwaukee Bucks run away with this game, but also they're going to make sure Dame gets as many shots as he needs here. Can you imagine this? You go back to Portland here, you lose this basketball game, and Dame shoots 5 of 21 from the field. Absolutely not.
Nope.
Narrative stands.
Nope.
You should be lining up on Damian Lillard in this game.
Nope, not going to happen. 26.5 points is the prop for Dame. Donnie is spot on. Every other game, Dame. Is that what do you want to call him? What is it officially?
It's every other game, Dame. That's his new name. Yeah, not Dame
every
time.
Other
every
game,
other game,
Dame. Not Dame time anymore. Every other game, Dame. So to follow that from Donnie, 26.5 is the points prop. He scored 18 on Monday in Denver. The game before that, 26. So right around that number. The game before that, 22 against Cleveland. The game after that, 28 points against the Cavs, 17 against the Pistons, 45 in the game prior, 17 the game before that, 29 in the game prior. He has gone over in an 8-game span in 3 of the 4 other game Dames, and the one he went under was with 26. We go over 26.5 tonight. His 3 points prop is 3.5. The over has a lot of plus money at plus 138. The volume is there. Dame Lillard, Dame Lillard, Dame Lillard. And on top of that, minus 10.5 for this Milwaukee team. That, again, one of the reasons Adrian Griffin was let go, despite a 30-13 record, second best in the Eastern Conference, was how it looked. And we use that with the odds evaluation. A 16-26-1 against the spread team under Adrian Griffin. If you are going to look better and be thoroughly dominant under Doc Rivers, who now wants to get the sour taste of a loss in his first game as Milwaukee's head coach out of his mouth, I would lay a 10.5-point spread even on the road with Milwaukee. Very short number tonight in Miami. The Heat host the Sacramento Kings. Again, Miami in a tailspin at the moment. They have lost 7 straight games, a slight 1.5 favorite, minus 118 money line against Sacramento. The Kings, one of the better underdog teams in the NBA, 8-3 against the number. 5 of those 8 covers outright. Will it be 8 straight losses for Miami, or is Sacramento going to suffer a loss on the road?
I thought we had a perfect scenario last time I backed the Miami Heat at home. Terrible team coming in with a team that's already taken a loss coming in and also on a back-to-back, and that didn't work out for the Miami Heat. So I'm not going to buy into the Heat once again tonight here, Ben. Give me the Sacramento Kings on the road as the slight underdog, as they are begging you to take the Kings, and I am going to take the Kings tonight because I just don't see anything right now out of the Miami Heat that is a positive. Could they win tonight? Are they favored to win? Yes. But I bit into that apple before, and it didn't taste all that good here, Ben. So forget about that.
No.
Let's go ahead and take the Kings tonight.
The Sacramento Kings have won 4 straight games, technically the hottest team in the Western Conference, the longest active win streak at this moment. What is my favorite? PRA, Domantas Sabonis. I think this game is going to be competitive. Even if Miami does snap the 7-game skid and edges things out, I think Sabonis has a big game, 39.5 points plus rebounds plus assists. So the Minnesota Timberwolves, as we shared, a monumental road victory in OKC on Monday evening. Now the best record by themselves in the Western Conference, 33-14, half game up over Denver, full game advantage against the Oklahoma City Thunder. Tonight, Minnesota, a very hefty favorite at home in Minneapolis. Why, you might ask? Luka Doncic has been ruled out. We haven't seen Kyrie Irving in many games as well. 13-point spread now, slightly working back to Dallas, but still 13 points in favor of the T-Wolves.
Yeah, this should be a game where the Timberwolves hammer, but I always find myself interested in these situations on the opposite side because some of these guys, and yes, they're NBA players, want to get their chance to shine here. And also from a Minnesota Timberwolves perspective, you're human beings, right, Ben? You show up to the arena and go like, wait a second. Luka's out in this basketball game and Kyrie, this is going to be easy tonight. Let's go out there and handle our business. And they might win, but also don't be surprised for the Mavericks maybe to have a first or second quarter lead here. Give me the underdog play and contrarian look. The team without their superstars. I'll take them with the points tonight.
They have been really good, missing at least one superstar as an underdog. 9-12 against the spread for the Mavs this year as a dog. Minnesota favored in 43 games rather so far this year. 16, 17, and 2. I did the math poorly there. I'll figure out how many games that is. 35. I don't know what I was doing with some mental math there in that spot. But still 16, 17, and 2 against the number as the favored side. Wemby watch. The NBA Rookie of the Year is now minus 240 in his favor for that award. And yet San Antonio has been a 5-point home underdog against the Orlando Magic. When the Magic have been booked as a favorite, Donnie, they've been one of the best in the NBA. One of 3 teams with north of a 70% cover percentage as the favorite side, which includes the Spurs, by the way. It's only been 5 games, though, for San Antonio. Orlando 10-4 against the number when booked as a favorite.
Yeah, that line screams here. You got to take the Orlando Magic. Say, Wemby's at home. This is the chance they can finally rise up. When this team loses, they usually lose big. And if I think San Antonio is losing tonight, I'm certainly not betting them to cover the spread. Give me the Orlando Magic.
I want to look at one final spot, and I know it might sound crazy, but Detroit's been feeling good with Ben Johnson staying as the offensive coordinator, and the Detroit Pistons, who upset the Oklahoma City Thunder at home over the weekend, winning outright as a 12.5-point underdog, have now covered in 7 of their last 8 games. The Pistons, a 12.5-point dog tonight in Cleveland. The Cavs have been sensational. Winners of 9 of their last 10. But I'm just saying, maybe Detroit covers a 12.5-point number.